Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. And as always, I'm bringing you guys awesome interviews. And today it is an honor to have Mr. Zeb Christensen on the line. He is the vocalist of Screaming for Silence, and they have a new album that's going to come out, actually independently out on July 28th. It's called House of Glass. And we're going to be talking to him about this new album. And independently, it's kind of, some bands it's kind of scary to take that risk, but we're going to talk about all of this. So
awesome. First, I want to say what's up, everybody. It's good to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man, glad to have you on here. So let's jump right into this, Zeb. What's impressed you about the making of the new album, House of Glass? What's caught your eye or impressed you most about it so far?
A couple things right off the bat is working with Eric Ron, that's who we worked with for our full album, our full length that we did in 2015. And just working with him is so great, man. He's such a genius, and I think he really brings the best out in us. And in every band he does. He's released a lot of albums this year through bands that have been stellar, and he's just on fire right now. So always getting to work with him is awesome. Secondly, one thing we wanted to do coming off the full length is really hone in and take what we loved from that album and really hone in on that sound to put it all into this EP. And, what we got from that is, the high energy, the kind of in your face, kind of the crunchier sound is what we really loved. So, we kind of took all that and went into the studio and, House of Glass, the EP is what we came up with. And we just hope everybody digs it, man. We're excited for everybody to hear it.
You mentioned you worked with Eric Ron on this. How special is working with this guy, and does he push you guys really hard, or does he let you guys go on your way, then step in and say, hey, let's do this?
It's crazy. He definitely brings out the best in us. He's always challenging us to think outside the box and come up with new ideas. And really, when we go into the studio with him, he works at such a fast pace that sometimes it's difficult to keep up. And, he really keeps it moving, but I also think it's great like that. It kind of keeps you from second guessing. You just go with it. And then boom, all of a sudden you got a song and you're like, holy, that just went so fast. I blacked out for a minute. I don't know what happened, but it's awesome. And it's such an honor to work with him and have him on our side for sure.
Any songs off the House of Glass that stand out more to you than any on it as of right now, possibly?
We released the self-titled or the song after House of Glass. The single is House of Glass or whatever. And but there's one on there that's called Long Way Up that really sticks out for me and for us as a band. I think it's it's kind of a song about looking back at all the years we've been doing this and reflecting and some of the bullshit that we put ourselves through. I remember pushing our van and trailer into a gas station and we were having to beg for money and walk up and down the strip looking for a pawn shop to pawn something because we were so broke. And just some of the stuff that we put ourselves through and the sacrifices we made out on the road the last 5 or 6 years, and that one really sticks out for me. And I think that a lot of people will be able to relate with that, as far as everybody goes through a lot of sacrifices and stuff like that. So I think that one definitely sticks out for me and will be very relatable for a lot of the people that hear it.
See, folks, right there you go. There's a nail on the head point if you want to be a musician. It's not all wine and crystal all the time.
Exactly, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I love doing this, but there is definitely you definitely got to put yourself through some hardship to make any progress. Just like anything, though.
Especially like Zeb just said, folks. If you're begging for money and don't even have enough money for gas or food, then that's when you know if you're going to stick with it or not, and shit gets reeled in.
Exactly.
Releasing this album independently, is this something you guys wanted to tackle and see how it went, or let's talk about that a little bit?
We did the full length independently, and we had talked to some different record labels and had some opportunities there, but in the end we just didn't feel like it was the best fit for us. So we kind of just wanted to keep it independent for now, and it's like I said, being independent isn't a horrible thing. Don't get me wrong. If the right opportunity arose, the right team for us was wanting to work with us, we would definitely make it happen. But, we're excited independently that, we have control of things and can kind of control our own destiny. So
if this works out really great on this album, you get a lot of sales on this, man. You independently from here on out until something comes along real good, or what?
For sure, for sure. I mean, right now we're kind of taking it one step at a time. Things are crazy right now, which is a good thing.
Sure.
We're keeping busy. You know, we hit the road at the end of the month to support the EP when it comes out. Yeah, you know, we're just kind of, like I said, you know, we want to see how it goes, and we're really excited to see the response from the fans, because ultimately, it doesn't really necessarily matter what we want, you know. If the fans want it, you know, if they want more, that we're going to give them more, and that's just kind of how it is.
Zeb, do you guys do anything differently during the writing and recording process to help keep your minds open and fresh and stay focused on creating the style of music that you guys do? Do you push your guys to the limit on each recording?
This was one, so we did this one completely different than we had in the past. We actually took some time off the road and really honed in on writing. And one thing that I love about our band is it's all equal input. So there's not one person that's writing, writing all of the songs. We all have input. We all get to be creative in it. And it's all about trying to think outside the box, you know, try and be original and come up with things that people haven't done, and, you know, trying to come up with catchy songs that people love. So it's definitely not as easy as it sounds, but, you know, like I said, it's not necessarily up to us. You know, we hope everybody else digs it and can relate to it.
What do you hope the fans take away from this EP once they start to listen to it, or, you know, just your guys' music in general? What do you hope that they get from it?
You know, one thing I always tell everybody, you know, some people ask me about meanings of our songs and what they mean to us, and they definitely do have a ton of meaning and come from somewhere, you know, that has affected us or that we've been a part of. But I don't want to tell our fans what a song should mean to them. I want them to listen to the song, and if they relate to it in a completely different way, that's awesome. Like, if they're relating to it, that's all that matters to us. And, you know, like I said, they're ultimately the judge. We want to, you know, our fans and family and friends have had our back so much throughout the years that we want to give back to them as much as we can. So literally, we want to make music that they love, and that, you know, hopefully new fans will start to dig as well and, you know, join the family.
You said you guys took some time off to focus more on writing. How much growth musically have you seen yourself and this band go through up to the release of this EP, and plus working together on just focus on writing and stuff, man?
It's been great, man. You know, we've really matured throughout the last few years, especially, you know, but the one thing about it is we're still growing as a band. You know, when we go out on tour, we still learn something. You know, I feel like we never have it pinned down to where I feel like, you know, nothing else new could come. It's something new every single day, new obstacles, you know, maybe new cities, you know, new fans. We get to meet new people and see some parts of the country we haven't seen. And it's just great to see the maturity. And I feel like if you listen through our albums, you can hear the maturity through all of them, you know, from our very first EP to the full length and now to this one. I feel like you can feel the maturity, and you can see that we try new things on each album. I don't think any album sounds the same. You know, we don't want to repeat ourselves. We want to kind of keep it fresh and keep it going.
Well, that's a good thing, man. And look, I've been doing this for 7 years. So I've seen everything under the sun come through here. So a lot of it could get stale. You know what I mean? And I think bands that have diversity on their albums stick out so much better, in my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, that's one thing that, you know, we didn't want to repeat ourselves. You know, our full length, I feel like it has a ton of variety in it. There's a song for everybody. And then I think this new EP coming has a very fresh sound. And yeah, I think as a musician, if you keep doing the same thing, you know, sometimes I hear that if it's not broke, don't fix it. Mm-hmm. You know, I think some of the bigger bands can get away with that. But I think if you're an up and coming band, you got to switch it up a little bit and, you know, kind of give people some of that surprise. Because you're right. If it starts to get stale, you know, you lose interest from people, I feel like.
Yeah. And plus, you know, bands are so scared to go outside the box. Take a damn chance. I mean,
right.
You never
Absolutely.
know.
Absolutely. If you know, like I said, you know, we did the last album independently and we felt like it went well, but, you know, we want to switch it up a little bit and see if it leads us down a different path. You know, If you're going down the same path, I feel like you're going to get the same results.
Mm-hmm. I agree. What can fans expect at a show from the Mighty Screaming for Silence when they come out to see you guys?
Always high energy, in your face. You know, I think sometimes I see a lot of bands where they make mistakes is, you know, they kind of roll in and they get on stage, do their thing and roll out and that's it. And I think they make a lot of mistakes. I think one of my favorite parts is building relationships with new people across the country. So as soon as we walk in that door, load in at, you know, 1 or 2 in the afternoon, like the flip switches.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's time to get to work and that's the thing we love about it. I think we're usually the first people there and the last people to leave, and we love it, man.
You know, folks may get mad when I say this, but hey, the fans put each and every single one of the bands where you're at right now. So
absolutely, they are our record label. Our fans and our support system has made this extremely, extremely awesome, and we couldn't be more thankful. But they literally are our record label, and why we're able to keep doing that.
I know we're living in the digital era right now of recording albums and plus social media. Do you guys like this that we're in right now to get stuff out a lot easier now?
I mean, man, it's such a tough question because there are a lot of pros and a lot of cons. One thing I've been talking about a lot recently is that it's great. I think that it's so easy to get music. That gives fans a lot more. You know, when you have everything at the tip of your fingers, you can get it to more people. I think the one thing that makes it difficult is that albums are coming out so fast now. You have to keep your fans interested by giving them more content through your social media, you know, pictures, videos, you know, updates, all this stuff. I think you just have to feed them more content, because if you don't, your album could go on their CD player in 3 days. Somebody else, releases one and it's out the window, you know, or on their streaming, you know.
True.
So it's just about staying. I think it's more about staying relevant and trying to keep the crowd interested and giving them as much as you can.
Support wise, is there a country or a region that stands out more or surprises you that you get more support from, possibly?
Being from the Midwest, our hometown and stuff is amazing. We're from Omaha, Nebraska, and you know, it has literally kept this band going from day one. So we couldn't thank them enough. And around the Midwest is really great. What I tend to find is that bigger cities, it's a lot harder. You know, New York City, LA, some of those cities, Dallas, it's a lot harder to gain traction because there's so much going on in all those cities. Whereas you get to kind of some of the mid-range to smaller cities that there's not as much going on, that you see traction a lot faster. You know, if you go 2 or 3 times, you really start to see a fan base start to grow. And it's cool to see that, man. I think that's one of the best parts is when you start in a city. You know, for instance, Akron, Ohio was one that we started with 2 people in the room the first time we played there. So now we're, 100 to 150 almost every time we go through town. And it's just awesome to see the growth over the years as we've been going through.
2 people?
2 people, man.
Holy shit.
The first tour we ever went on was pretty brutal, man. It was pretty brutal.
Damn. But there you go, folks. Again, it doesn't matter if there's 1 person. 2 people.
That's right.
You're still fucking playing regardless.
Oh, man. And that's one thing we try and pride ourselves on is that 2 people we've played Rock on the Range where it sells out 110,000 people. We play the same set no matter what. We give it all we got, and there's blood, sweat, and tears every night.
True fucking lifers right here, folks. That's good. I'm glad to listen to these stories. These are fucking awesome. This is what makes it for me for this show. I love this.
That's awesome, man. We appreciate that. Very cool.
What does Screaming for Silence bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, Zeb, possibly?
Like I said, we kind of went for a little bit heavier this time as far as the tone of the instruments and stuff. But I think it's all about lyrics and hooks. I think, the lyrics and the hook of the song is what's going to draw people's attention. And I'd like to think that, we have some catchy lyrics and some catchy hooks. So I think that that's one thing that, anytime I talk to bands that ask for advice on what they can do better, write music. I mean, the more music you write and the more music you're putting out, the more you're recording, it's going to make you so much better. And, you're going to get better the more and more you keep putting out. So I know as we write and as we keep putting together these songs, the more we keep going, I feel like we're progressing and getting better.
Any show or moment that stands out more than any to you possibly being part of Screaming for Silence that you couldn't believe that you're actually on stage doing this and seeing what was going on?
Growing up, we used to go to this festival called Rockfest in Council Bluffs, Iowa. And, it's always sold out, 13 to 15,000 people. And I grew up and I watched so many bands on that stage. And, we've got to play it twice now over the last few years. And, every time I get on there, I really try and take a deep breath and enjoy the moment, because it's so humbling to be on that stage that I got to watch all of those bands on. So it's always just a really cool experience for that.
So for you, what made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, I want to do that exact right there? That's it.
It was those bands that brought, I remember watching, Slipknot and Papa Roach when, their first singles weren't even out yet. And I'm watching these guys just destroy a stage, and I just, eat a crowd just eating out of the palm of their hands. And I was like, God, I want that. That feeling would be so amazing. And, it's pretty cool. And I'd like to think that I'm following in their footsteps. And, if they ever get to watch us, I hope they enjoy what we do, because it's literally because of them that I love doing this and love it so much.
If you could work with any musician, dead or alive, or any band that's broke up possibly for a day or so, who would you choose?
Man, I would definitely say Corey Taylor for sure, from Slipknot and Stone Sour. I grew up in central Iowa watching those guys, where they started from and where they are now. And he can frickin' do anything, man. He can, I've seen him, destroy stages with Slipknot and then go play an acoustic set for 2 hours and, just have everybody singing along. It's just crazy what that guy can do.
Do you guys ever get any fan mail or emails, or possibly after show or before the shows, you have fans who tell you that, hey, your guys' music has pulled them through a bad experience or gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles or just made them to relax with everyday bullshit that we go through? If that's happened, what's that mean to you all?
And that's literally what, at the end of the day, that's what means the most to us. And, we've had people that come up and tell us, the struggles they've been through, that the music helps them. And that's literally why we do it, man. I mean, that's, like I said before, we want people to relate to our music. And if it helps them through a bad day or a bad time, or if it, gets them excited and makes them motivated to do something, then that's what it's all about, man. It means the world to us when people say stuff like that.
Folks, I've been getting this band for the past couple months now. I'm slow to the table. I'm sorry, it happens.
That's okay, man. As long as you're on now, that's all that matters.
Like Zeb said, they have a lot of diversity, and I think that's a trait that a lot of bands need. And I'm not saying every band, I'm just saying that sticks out more for me. Different strokes for different folks, as I always say.
Right.
But
right.
Give this band a chance. Check them out. I guarantee you guys will dig them. So, Zeb, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates? How can they do that, my man?
Yeah, right now we have our pre-order site up. That's through Pledge Music. So if you go to pledgemusic.com and search Screaming for Silence, we got all sorts of stuff up there, man. You can pre-order our album. We have a camera it's a disposable camera that you pay for, and then we go out and take all the pictures and then send it to you. So then you're the only person that has any of those pictures.
Nice.
So we got all sorts of cool stuff. We got, hoodies, T-shirts. So definitely there. Also social media-wise, we have Facebook, Instagram. We have our own Snapchat. You can pre-order the album on iTunes, Amazon, Google. It's up on everything now as well.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Not a problem, man. Yo, this is Zeb with Screaming for Silence. You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Crank it up.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. Thank you, Zeb.
Yeah, you bet, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.